Greetings, everybody. It's good to be back as always. My name is Dr. Euler.
And my name is Dr. Pierce.
Today's briefing will cover two anomalies. First item up on the docket, SCP-7795, Object Class Dependent. Special Containment Procedures. Until a method for neutralizing SCP-7795-A has proven successful, SCP-7795 shall remain in Foundation custody under the duty of an assigned caretaker. Each year, for the 48-hour duration, spanning October 23rd and 24th, Applied Task Force Ðirteen, codename Remediation, is to remain within a 100-meter radius of SCP-7795, utilizing specialized equipment to continuously monitor the location, mental status, and vitals. Upon detection of any abnormalities or manual alert by SCP-7795's caretaker, ATF Ðirteen must immediately converge upon SCP-7795 and attempt to prevent the manifestation of SCP-7795-A. Should they fail, efforts must immediately translate into remediation, in which SCP-7795's death should be made as painless as possible. Should remediation prove impossible, the continuation of SCP-7795's existence is therefore deemed unethical, and neutralization by lethal force is preemptively authorized. All involved agents will be administered amnestics following such an occurrence.
Description: SCP-7795 is 12-year-old Mia. SCP-7795-A is a phenomenon which invariably results in the death of SCP-7795 on its 13th birthday. The day following its death, SCP-7795 will materialize in its bed, having de-aged exactly 1 year whilst retaining all memories of the previous lost year. This results in an annual looping effect. All attempts to impede or mitigate SCP-7795-A have resulted in failure, and efforts to suppress SCP-7795's memories thereof have similarly proven futile. To alleviate the compounding physiological and psychological effects associated with this event, SCP-7795 has been provided a Foundation therapist, who has successfully convinced them that its birth date does not coincide with SCP-7795-A. Despite this, SCP-7795's mental health continues to deteriorate as occurrences of SCP-7795-A become increasingly traumatic. Notice from the Ethics Committee. The following documents denote gruesome depictions of the mutilations, deaths, and suicides of a child. Should one read through these documents and find themselves negatively affected by their contents, whether emotionally or physically, the Absolution from Volatile Knowledge Act, AVCA, allows any employee not directly involved with an anomaly to seek out immediate amnestic treatment.
Incident 7795-1. Incident date: October 24th, 2003. Incident report. During a return trip from their grandparents' house, in which the grandparents were driving Mia home, an intoxicated driver suddenly swerved lanes, resulting in a 120 km/h head-on collision. Both the offender and Mia's grandparents were killed on impact, whereas Mia's stomach was pierced by multiple pieces of glass. Despite medical professionals arriving to the scene in less than 10 minutes, Mia bled out after only 7. While this event was not inherently anomalous, the Foundation was alerted when Mia's mother made a frantic call to the police the following morning in which she claimed that a demon was in her child's room. Foundation operatives were immediately dispatched to the scene, where they discovered what seemed to be a clone of Mia wearing a party hat. Due to the child's own distress and panic, alongside with that of the mother, it was swiftly taken into Foundation care. The clone was, in actuality, a materialization of the same previously deceased child, though de-aged 1 year. This is corroborated by its retaining memories of the previous year, including those of its expiration, alongside being 2 inches shorter. As such, the child has been denoted as SCP-7795 and moved into a humanoid containment chamber at Site-37. Note from SCP-7795's lead researcher.
Since entering Foundation custody, Mia has expressed severe confusion due, in part, to both memories of their death and their sudden detachment from their parents and friends. As their anomaly, SCP-7795A, is not yet understood, and Mia is considered deceased outside the veil, they have been amnesticized of all familial connections and other recurrent stresses. Attempts to remove memories of their death have, however, failed, though I have since managed to persuade them that it was simply a nightmare. Let us hope, for this child's sake, that this is a one-off anomaly. They still have their entire life ahead of them. I prefer they spend it outside of a cell. Researcher Rebecca Larson, SCP-7795 Research Head.
Protocol Update. As per standard human containment protocol, SCP-7795 may be provided typical amenities within reason at their request. So far, they've requested multiple outfits, a television set, a bookshelf with multiple books, a stack of paper, and multiple packs of colored pencils, all of which have been approved by Researcher Larson.
Incident 7795-2. Incident date, October 24th, 2004. Incident report. While eating lunch in Site-37's central cafeteria, Mia suddenly began choking, prompting the immediate response of multiple nearby personnel. Multiple attempts were made to perform the Heimlich maneuver, resulting in the breaking and fracturing of 4 separate ribs, though ultimately they proved futile, as Mia expired 6 minutes after the incurrence due to both a lack of oxygen and internal bleeding caused by a fractured rib puncturing a lung. The following morning, Mia rematerialized within their containment chamber, having once more de-aged a year. These revivification occurrences are hereby designated 7795-Res events.
Similarly to the aftermath of their first 7795 Res event, Mia expressed confusion and disorientation alongside a noticeable apprehension towards eating. Attempts to convince them that this occurrence, again, was simply a nightmare has shown tentative success. But I have doubts that such success will continue in the future. My team has suggested the implantation of multiple similar nightmares throughout the intermittent year of each event may help disguising the actual occurrence. But I won't put a child through dozens of pseudo-deaths for the sake of upholding a lie. They deserve the best of us, not the worst. Researcher Rebecca Larson.
Protocol update. SCP-7795 must be supervised by at least one staff member at all times on October 24th. Should SCP-7795-A start to afflict SCP-7795, said staff members to immediately notify Ðirteen for medical aid. Additionally, SCP-7795 is to be provided access to a Foundation therapist, with a mandatory attendance of at least one session a week.
Incident 7795-3. Incident date, October 24th, 2005. Incident report. At 12:51 local time, a breach occurs at Site-37, during which 7 Euclid and 4 Keter-class anomalies breached containment. As such, standard lockdown procedure was enacted, including site-wide lockdown, resulting in Mia being locked within their cell for the duration of the event. 27 minutes later, breached sectors were flooded with parasitative gas, though an error in the dispersal technology resulted in Mia's cell also being flooded with said gas. Due to the presence of various nerve gas agents therein, Mia expired after 2 minutes of suffocation. The breach was summarily contained just 3 minutes after. 7795-Res event occurred as expected.
Following their revival, Mia has expressed acute symptoms of multiple breathing ailments, the foremost of which is asthma. While time and therapy will likely remedy such symptoms, I worry this is only a warning of things to come. They have already expressed a subconscious dread of the 24th, and if their deaths can lead to future conditions despite their seeming reset, Well, I simply hope we don't find out. My team continues to suggest the implantation of nightmares, but I will deny each and every proposal. Pain for the sake of future relief is a foolish notion to force upon a child. They're already going through enough. Researcher Rebecca Larson.
Incident 7795-4. Incident date, October 24th, 2006. Incident report. At 1547, Mia was spending recreational time in the outdoor sector of Site-37, alongside the children of researchers Leo and Percy, when a thunderstorm suddenly formed. Due to its rapid appearance, the children were unable to be called in before Mia was abruptly struck by lightning 6 times in a row, the first 2 of which also managed to injure one of the children. Mia expired immediately following the 6th impact. The other child was determined to be paralyzed from the hips down. 7795-Res event occurred as expected.
Mia awoke in a flurry of twitches and spasms, the likes of which were so extreme that Ðirteen had to immediately administer muscle relaxants. Even days later, however, their hands continued to tremble. I worry they may not stop. And yet that is only the half of it. Mia is regressing emotionally, and I fear it is out of guilt. Their friend was paralyzed, and even though we have avoided explaining Mia's anomaly to themselves, they still reason that somehow the blame must fall on them. They have sobbed themselves to sleep for the past 3 nights. Things have to get better. They must. Researcher Rebecca Larson.
Protocol update. Individuals unaware of SCP-7795's anomaly are not allowed within 10 meters of SCP-7795 on October 24th, as to avoid incidental injuries.
Incident 7795-5. Incident date, October 24th, 2007. Incident report. At 1642, Mia was attending an impromptu therapy session following a series of particularly extreme breakdowns. Despite concerns raised by Ðirteen due to the date, their therapist still demanded to see them immediately. 27 minutes later, a then unknown GOL breached Site-37, overtaking multiple sectors, during which Mia's state immediately began to regress as they repetitively proclaimed that the breach was all their fault. Their therapist attempted to soothe them until 1733, when 5 armed individuals suddenly breached the room, executing her in the process. Mia was then taken as a hostage. Using them as a negotiation piece, the group made multiple demands, 6 claiming they would kill Mia should they not be met. However, despite Dr. Larson's advocacy for Mia's life, Site-37's director determined their demands to be an unreasonable exchange, especially when considering the revival aspect of Mia's anomaly. As such, MTF Ruin 9, codename Life Goes On, was quickly deployed to Site-37 with the express goal of the immediate capture and/or assassination of all infiltrators, with additional orders stating to treat Mia as collateral. Within the next 12 minutes, all overtaken sectors were successfully recaptured, though not before the group holding Mia hostage became aware of the attack, prompting them to execute Mia via the thermic removal of all their blood through their pores. Despite Ruin 9 executing this group within 1 minute of this process occurring, immediate medical response proved futile and Mia expired 3 minutes later due to blood loss. 7795-Res event occurred as expected.
Mia was catatonic for approximately 48 hours following their manifestation, after which they have remained selectively mute. They have also expressed an aversion to socialization and an intense phobia of the color red. Attempts to remedy these effects are ongoing, but their newfound guilt surrounding the death of their therapist has made it extremely difficult to address said issues. I've been trying to help them myself, but progress is slow, to say the least. Thus far, Mia's only words have been, "I don't want anyone else to get hurt." Researcher Rebecca Larson.
Incident 7795-6. Incident date, October 24th, 2008. Incident report. Due to an info-hazardous breach Mia suddenly became aware of, following which it manifested and proceeded to mutilate Mia, who incurred the following injuries: 47 powderized bones, inversion of 35 organs, 180-degree rotation of the torso, oculi combustion, and cerebral liquidation. Despite spontaneous corruption of camera footage after the manifestation of, recorded audio was unaffected. Screams therein suggest Mia lived through the dismemberment for approximately 13 minutes before expiring. Following their death, MTF Omen 00 Oblivion quickly eliminated the threat. 7795 Res event occurred as expected. Following revival, Omen 00 amnesticized all of Mia's memories pertaining to the info hazard.
Mia's state continues to regress. Alongside general mental degradation, Mia continues to grow fearful of the world around them. Even dim corners seem to terrify them, requiring lamps and other light fixtures in most rooms they go through simply to keep them from breaking down. It's no way for a child to live. In pain and scared. I will figure something out soon. I have to. Researcher Rebecca Larson.
Incident 7795-7. Incident date, October 24th, 2009. Incident report. On October 23rd, for the first time in roughly 18 months, Mia agrees to attend therapy, during which they steal 3 different bottles of pills. At 23:55 that same night, they swallow all 73 pills before going to sleep, only to awaken at 05:23 the next morning, vomiting. The guard stationed outside the room immediately came in to provide assistance and help them to the bathroom, unaware that Mia had pickpocketed their clearance card. At 06:43, they would leave the room under the pretense that they were attending another therapy session, only to instead navigate to one of Site 37's arms lockers. A gunshot followed a minute later. Mia was determined to have expired from a gunshot wound to the temple. 7795-Res event occurred as expected.
After manifestation, Mia begged me to let them die. Researcher Rebecca Larson.
Incident 7795-8. Incident date, October 24th, 2010. Incident report. At 0023, Mia was administered a lethal injection. They expired 2 minutes later. 7795 Res event occurred as expected.
Mia's manifestation following this incident was the most calm I've seen them in 6 years. They still wouldn't speak much, and their phobias were still as realized as before, but they seemed much calmer, almost peaceful. I should feel happy. I should feel overwhelming delight. But how could I ever rest easy knowing I ordered the death of a child, even if it was to give them peace? Researcher Rebecca Larson.
Protocol update. Following Ethics Committee deliberation, a routine has been instated in which SCP-7795 will be terminated in their sleep via lethal injection on October 24th.
Incident 7795-11. Incident date, October 24th, 2013. Incident report. As per routine, Mia was administered a lethal injection 1 minute after midnight. They expired 2 minutes later. 7795-res event occurred as expected.
3 years of success. None of them have been easy, but it's hard to overstate Mia's improvement. Their selective mutism has all but disappeared, only popping up in now infrequent breakdowns, and many of their phobias have been reduced to vague fears by routine therapy. They seem as alive as they were when they first came to the site. Jovial, happy, and brimming with life. Their paintings, as of late, have been a wonder to behold. Things are looking up. Researcher Rebecca Larson.
Incident 7795-15. Incident date October 24th, 2017. Incident report. As per routine, Mia was administered a lethal injection at 0001. Instead of the expected reaction, however, Mia woke up 7 minutes later convulsing in pain. Ðirteen was immediately alerted and, after a series of tests, determined Mia was experiencing mass necrosis and organ failure. All attempts to treat these conditions were met with adverse reactions, usually resulting in a greater degree of bodily harm than it would have otherwise reduced. As such, Ðirteen resorted to treating Mia with an assortment of pain relief, numbing agents, and anesthesia, all of which proved moderately successful, though quickly diminished in effect by the 12th hour. Mia lived through this pain for over 18 hours, notably much longer than their condition should have allowed them to, most of which they spent sobbing, writhing, and screaming, causing their vocal cords to rupture by the 15th hour and most of their skin to be rubbed raw to the point of damage. At 1831, Mia expired. 7795 res event occurred as expected.
I held their hand for nearly 19 hours. I held their hand as they screamed and shook and cried and prayed for help. And I was helpless. All I could do was sit there and hope their pain would end. For hours and hours. What did they do to deserve this? Since this incident, Mia's state has greatly regressed, further even than their state prior to the lethal injection program. They attend about 1 in 4 therapy sessions, have effectively cut contact with all friends, refuse to eat more times than not, and sleep over 10 hours a day. Researcher Rebecca Larson.
Incident 7795-16. Incident date, October 24th, 2018. Incident report. Mia attempts to hang themselves with their bed sheets at 0311. A guard notices such after approximately 35 seconds and manages to cut them down before they expire. Mia then lunges at said guard, attempting to wrestle the blade from him, cutting their hands multiple times in their efforts. The guard shoves Mia off of him, though in the process they fall and crack their head against their bed frame, splitting their skull open. The guard, panicked, immediately alerts Ðirteen. Despite Ðirteen's quick arrival, Mia died from internal bleeding at 0317. The guard was amnesticized and placed on paid leave. 7795-res event occurred as expected.
Mia has become entirely mute and emotionally distant, alongside showing severe signs of general disassociation. They eat about once a day and seem generally unreactive to most conversation. They completely refuse to attend or even acknowledge therapy. They're slipping away and we are running out of options. Researcher Rebecca Larson.
Project Neverland, Phase 1. Proposed by Dr. Larson, Project Neverland aims to neutralize SCP-7795A through use of temporal technology. She proposes that stunting SCP-7795's aging through localized temporal stasis will effectively keep them from reaching the age of 13, which is suspected to be the main activation requirement for SCP-7795A. Following approval of Site-37's Director Selson, the Department of Chronology developed an MLTS device which SCP-7795 is henceforth required to wear at all times. Incident 7795-17. Incident date, October 24th, 2019. Incident report. Despite functioning at full capacity for the entire year, the MLTS device suddenly began experiencing a series of malfunctions on October 24th, resulting in the abrupt and rapid aging of Mia. As a result, they aged 132 years in approximately 27 minutes. Due to the death of most tissue and organs throughout the last 40 years, Mia expired by the end of the 27th minute. 7795 res event occurred as expected.
Mia awoke experiencing extreme levels of disorientation and appeared extremely distraught. Despite such, they were entirely unreactive to most stimuli. To date, they must be led most places and reminded to eat, though even this has proved unsuccessful most times. Either they have entirely locked themselves away in their head, or there just isn't much of them left. I will not lose them. Researcher Rebecca Larson.
Project Neverland, Phase 2. Proposed by Dr. Larson, Phase 2 of Project Neverland suggests the use of a temporal stasis chamber, a device regularly used by the Department of Chronology and therefore determined to be much more stable than the MLTS device previously used on SCP-7795. Following Director Selson's approval, it was determined that SCP-7795 would be placed in the TSC 1 month before October 24th, during which they would be supplied oxygen and sustenance through a series of tubes, along with multiple added pain relievers and soothing agents with the hopes of mitigating mental state degradation should a failure occur. Incident 7795-18. Incident date, October 24th, 2020. Incident report. On September 24th, Mia was successfully sedated and suspended within the TSC, where they remained until 2317 on October 24th. At this time, Site-37 experienced total collapse of all on-site power, including that of backup generators, resulting in the breach of 13 anomalies. This resulted in the loss of 31 personnel, and due to the absence of power, the TLC's oxygen recycle failed, causing Mia to suffocate within the chamber after 17 minutes. 7795-res event occurred as expected.
Mia reacts to no stimuli and is effectively comatose. As such, Ðirteen have placed them under life support, including continual routine medical care and supervision. If I could take their spot, I would. Researcher Rebecca Larson.
Project Neverland, Phase 3. Proposed by Dr. Larson, she suggests that the continuous failure of temporal stasis suggests that being younger than 13 does not mitigate the anomaly. As such, she instead suggests the utilization of a modified TSC to instead age SCP-7795 an entire year before October 24th occurs. Phase 3 proposes this would be accomplished by aging them at a rate of 100 times traditional speed, aging SCP-7795 1 year in approximately 4 days. Following Director Selson's approval, this was successfully carried out on August 5th and successfully concluded without incident on August 9th. No changes in mental status have yet been observed in SCP-7795. They continue to remain on life support under Ðirteen's supervision. Incident 7795-19. Incident date: October 24th, 2021. Incident report: at 1730, Site-37's on-site nuclear warhead suddenly primes, with activation reported to occur in 5 minutes. All attempts to deactivate the warhead, including attempts both on and off-site, were met with failure. All attempts to remove or otherwise dispose of the warhead through thaumaturgic or anomalous means were similarly met with failure. Dr. Larson became aware of these continuous failures at 1733, at which point they immediately made their way to Mia's medical bed, where they sat beside them, crying as they held their hand. At 1734, with 1 minute remaining before the warhead's detonation, she withdrew her sidearm, muttering, "I'm sorry," over and over again. With 23 seconds remaining, she put the gun to Mia's temple and shot them, terminating them instantly. The nuclear warhead deactivated simultaneously. 7795 res event occurred as expected.
I have nothing left to say. Researcher Rebecca Larson.
Project Neverland, Phase Final. SCP-7795 is to be abandoned within a non-dimension, in which their expiration can neither be said to occur or not occur. The Department of Surrealistics insists they will neutralize their affliction by SCP-7795-A, which will be unable to occur due to the cessation of SCP-7795's existence. This will result, unfortunately, in SCP-7795's termination. However, the Ethics Committee has deemed it the only remaining ethical solution available to the Foundation. Incident 7795-20. Incident date: August 9th, 2022. Incident report: through the use of a modified Scranton reality anchor, Mia is sent into a non-dimension, at which point the device is deactivated and destroyed. 7795-res event has yet to occur.
I'm sorry we could not save you, Mia. Rest well. Larson.
On a personal note, this is one of the most tragic SCPs that I have read so far. May Mia rest well and unaffected. The next item on the docket is SCP-5119. Object Class: Keter. Special Containment Procedures. Due to the nature of the anomaly, containment of SCP-5119 is presently unfeasible. Law enforcement channels, social media, and internet message boards are to be monitored for individuals recalling SCP-5119 related events. Subjects who have accessed SCP-5119 are to be interviewed and amnesticized upon identification. Presently, all information within this document has been obtained from accounts of individuals who have accessed SCP-5119. A Foundation-led exploration of SCP-5119 has not yet been conducted. Update: on the 12th of October, 2020, further information regarding SCP-5119 has been obtained following an incursion into the anomaly. See addenda for details. An updated description of SCP-5119 remains pending.
Description: SCP-5119 is Uncle Charlie's Toys and Games, an extra-dimensional location accessible only to individuals that possess a number of shared attributes. A manifestation of SCP-5119 may only occur if an individual is above the age of 25, perceives their childhood as an overall negative period of their life, has suffered forms of domestic or emotional abuse in their childhood, was forced to develop the maturity typically befitting of an adult during their childhood, had few extrafamilial relationships with other children, was raised by guardians unrelated by blood, experienced or witnessed the death of a family member as a child, or experienced difficulty in recalling childhood memories. The means by which SCP-5119 makes itself known are personalized to its target. However, a general pattern between all accounts of SCP-5119 manifestation has been established. The subject targeted by SCP-5119 will be made aware of the anomaly through a variety of modalities, including television commercials, web-based advertisements, newspaper ads, and appearance in dreams. These advertisements will increase in frequency in an attempt to coerce the subject into traveling to SCP-5119. These materials are mimetically self-obscuring, appearing as ordinary advertisements for unrelated businesses when viewed by those other than the targeted individual. SCP-5119 advertisements often feature the store's mascot, Uncle Charlie, which has been designated as SCP-5119-A. SCP-5119-A is a rotund, horned humanoid with hairless red skin, dressed in a black and white striped suit and a top hat. Illustrations on advertisements for SCP-5119 portray SCP-5119-A as a jovial character, playing with toys or outstretching its hand towards the reader in an invitational manner. SCP-5119 will manifest in a location nearby the residence of the subject and will provide precise direction towards the manifestation on all of its advertisements. These directions are nonsensical, but, if followed correctly, will allow anyone matching the selection criteria to access SCP-5119. The exterior of the anomaly resembles a conventional storefront and it is only accessible to individuals fitting its criteria. Attempts to access the location while others were present have resulted in the anomaly failing to manifest.
The interior of SCP-5119 is far larger than its exterior. However, accurate measurements have thus far not been recorded due to limited exploration possibilities. SCP-5119's interior resembles a dilapidated toy store that has experienced heavy fire damage. Products found inside of the anomaly are entirely unique to SCP-5119 and appear to be mass-produced. They all bear the names of unidentified companies, pieces of media, and intellectual properties. However, apart from their physical existence and source, products recovered from SCP-5119 have not demonstrated any anomalous effects and can be compared to ordinary toys in function and design. While inside SCP-5119, individuals will demonstrate ecstatic and childish behavior, such as playing with products for extended periods of time or singing juvenile songs to themselves. Following time spent in SCP-5119, the targeted individual will be subject to a form of retrograde amnesia, where the majority of memories from before the individual's 18th birthday become completely lost. The exact process by which this occurs is unknown. All subjects have recalled feeling drawn towards a large wooden door within the anomaly before waking up hours later in the same location outside of the store, where SCP-5119 will have disappeared. Subjects will be unable to recall events that occurred following seeing the door. There have been no recorded instances of an individual accessing SCP-5119 twice.
Addendum 5119.1 Exploration Log. On 2020-10-08, Lee Belletto, resident of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, reported to law enforcement that she felt unsafe because of the frequent amount of SCP-5119 related advertisements she was beginning to see. Through necessary channels, Foundation personnel were notified and dispatched to Belletto's location, as this would be the first opportunity for the Foundation to directly research SCP-5119. Lee Belletto was promptly conscripted into the Foundation's internal command structure as a D-class personnel, under the designation D680. Exploration Log 5119-1. Date 2020-10-12. Assigned Personnel D680.
Notes. First incursion into SCP-5119. One D-Class personnel, named D680, was equipped with recording equipment, a two-way radio, and a standard extraspatial exploration kit. The following instructions, lifted directly from advertising materials appearing to D680, were enacted in order to gain access to SCP-5119. The instructions are as follows. Put a green Jolly Rancher in your mouth. Make sure to keep it there. Drive down the dirt road directly off of Walheim for 15 minutes. Don't turn back. Smile. And finally, when you feel it in your legs, turn left. D680 was instructed to follow these directions. While driving on an unmarked road, D680 reported feeling a burning sensation in her lower body and turned the vehicle left, successfully accessing SCP-5119. D680 was then instructed to enter SCP-5119 while maintaining communication with Area 179. Begin log.
D680 enters SCP-5119. Subject examines the debris and damaged toys spread across the foyer. A large sign featuring SCP-5119-A and the text "Welcome" hangs from the ceiling.
Proceed.
D680 continues forward, then walks down an aisle located on her immediate left.
A lot of this stuff looks burned. There a fire or something?
We're unsure. Please continue forward.
D680 shrugs before picking up a product to examine it, a board game in a space-themed box. Several armored characters are illustrated on the cover. The game's logo reads Hive, the Cosmic Chronicle. A sticker promoting a TV show apparently based on the game is situated on the box's corner, encouraging viewers to watch it on Animation Network.
Animation Network?
D680 puts the game down and picks up a Carly doll, whose packaging resembles that of a Barbie doll.
So these are bootlegs, yeah?
We don't know.
Okay.
D680 continues to explore SCP-5119, walking aimlessly around the store. Subject stops in front of a counter. A broken cash register sits atop it.
D680, how are you feeling?
Fine, I guess. This place... I don't know. I've only been in a traditional toy store once, years back on vacation in Jersey. Small little shop, but it looked like this. Didn't sell weird toys or show up in my dreams or anything, but I always wished I had a place like this as a kid.
Are there any irregularities in your condition?
No, I'm just slightly nostalgic. I never really got toys as a kid. I feel strange here as an adult, but it's a warm feeling, not a wrong one. Like I stepped back in someone else's time.
Please proceed.
D680 moves forward in silence for 10 minutes. Subject begins to giggle and slightly increase the pace of their walking.
Respond, D680.
It's nothing. No, this place is just charming.
D680, can you recall a memory from your early childhood?
I guess. Why?
Please do so. It can be anything, but we would prefer to hear as much detail as possible.
God, I have to think of a good one first. I guess my first grade teacher, Mr. Surchurk. He helped me out with reading, like a lot, on tests and stuff. He knew how things were at my house, and he would pull me out at recess for tutoring. He made sure I wouldn't fall behind or anything. I remember he threw a party for the whole class and went out of his way to buy, to buy food that I could eat. My allergies and all. That was the only year I've ever enjoyed school. For 7 hours a day, I could just lose myself and... I could just lose myself and take my mind off things. Yeah. That work?
Please continue forward.
D680 begins to move towards a large, stuffed giraffe. The toy is significantly damaged and is missing its head.
Oh, that's so cute.
D680 climbs atop the stuffed animal's back and pretends to ride it, laughing.
D680, please remove yourself from the object.
What do you mean? How could you not want to ride this thing? Oh, I'm surprised it supports me.
D680 coughs and beats her chest. Subject removes herself from the giraffe and continues forward.
Are you feeling unwell?
No, I'm fine. Something in my throat is all.
D680 continues in silence for 5 minutes, occasionally coughing and laughing to herself. Subject comes to a spinning product rack filled with lollipops. Most of the candy is rotted or blackened.
God, this place is huge. It didn't look this big from out there. Oh, candy!
Do not consume the candy, D680.
Please?
We're unsure of the effects it may have on you. Please do not consume anything without express permission.
Apparently having lost interest, D680 skips over to a large, bouncing purple ball located in the distance.
Super big store. It's so big. Why did they build it? He likes to watch.
D680.
D680 begins to bounce on the ball.
D680, please.
Just keep playing in the big store. He's found you in the big store.
Lee Joseph Boletto.
D680 stops.
What?
D680, can you repeat the words to the song you were singing?
What do you mean? I was...
D680 falls to the floor and begins coughing heavily for 20 seconds. Subject spits up mucus with black discoloration.
Oh, God.
Subject picks himself up. As their recording equipment focuses, a small wooden door is seen on the wall directly in front of D680.
Can I go in there?
You may not.
D680 approaches the door.
D680, do not enter that door. Failure to comply will result in termination.
He's found you in the big store. What's behind that wooden door?
D680 opens the door. Complete darkness lies ahead. Subject crouches to fit in the door and enters the room. A voice is heard from across the tunnel.
Close the door, honey.
D680 closes the door. An orange glow suddenly fills the tunnel, revealing a spacious, empty room at the end of its length. The subject proceeds, revealing a massive entity resembling SCP-5119-A from the advertisements situated in the center of the room. The entity is bloated and unclothed. Its fingers are long and distended compared to the rest of its body. A viscous solution resembling the mucus D680 coughed up is smeared on the room's walls, floor, and the body of SCP-5119-A. D680 pauses and begins breathing heavily.
What the hell?
I'm not gonna hurt you. No, not at all.
D680 turns around, only to find that the tunnel she came through has disappeared, replaced by walling.
Angelo? Yo, guys?
Don't worry about them, Lee.
How do you know my name? How?
I'm your Uncle Charlie. I have to know. And the closer you get, the more I learn. Oh, yes, 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 yes. You're exactly who I built this place for.
What are you?
A friend. You don't have a lot of those, don't you, Lee? You learn the friendship can only go so far at an early age, right?
You have no idea what you're talking about.
You've never been much of a good friend, Lee. You had a responsibility being Jason's older brother. You think about how things might have been different if you just stepped in.
You don't understand.
Oh, honey, I do. I've forgotten more than you'll ever know about understanding. I understand regret, my child. You regret every day. You regret every night. You regret all the time.
SCP-5119-A extends its hand. D680 flinches as the entity picks her up and caresses her between its lengthy fingers.
What do you want from me? Please, just let me go.
I apologize for the discomfort. This process, I like to see just what I'm getting myself into before I get myself into it.
SCP-5119-A continues to feel D680's back. The entity pokes her in the stomach.
Oh yes, you'll do just fine. All this trauma, all this regret, to suffer so much at such a young age, yes. If I was more like you, I'd feel sorry for you. But I look to the future, Lee. I want you to be free of this pain. Let me take on your burdens, all of them. So heavy, so horrible.
SCP-5119-A suddenly shoves a finger into D680's mouth. Subject chokes on the digit as the entity reaches further into her throat.
It's heavy. It's heavy.
The entity removes its finger, which is covered in the black substance. D680 regurgitates large clumps of the substance into SCP-5119-A's hand for several minutes.
Get it all out for me. You're going to be fine.
SCP-5119-A places D680 back on the floor. The entity lifts its hand into its mouth and begins consuming the black substance.
Delicious.
Why was that inside me?
Because the world is cruel, honey.
A loud banging noise is heard coming from a trapdoor near SCP-5119-A. The entity smiles.
What's down there?
Well, pay it no mind.
The noise gets louder. The trapdoor begins to shake, as if something is attempting to break it from underneath.
Oh, you should leave.
The entity touches the top of D680's head. D680 falls to the floor, suddenly appearing in a wooded location, located near the road the subject used to access SCP-5119. End log. Addendum 5119.2 Interview log. Immediately following expiration, subject was returned to Area 179 and promptly interviewed. Audio log. Date October 12th, 2020. Begin log.
Researcher Stars enters the room. Subject is sitting at a table, drinking from a cup of water.
Lee,
What's up?
I'm going to talk to you now. This is going on record, is that okay?
It's fine.
Good. Can you give me a recollection of the testing you partook in? From a few hours ago.
Burned down toy store. Followed weird instructions. Well, you saw the footage. I walked around and...
And?
I'm sorry, I can't. I walked around for a while, and then I woke up in the woods.
Do you remember a door?
A door? No. No, I don't.
Thanks, Lee. Now I'm going to ask you a few personal questions. If you're uncomfortable at any time, we can stop, alright?
Subject nods.
How would you describe your childhood?
I don't know.
Pardon?
What do you mean? I I don't remember my childhood. It's all gone.
Does this distress you?
Why would it?
Alright, Lee. Where did you grow up? What was your childhood home like?
Our house. It was in Lancaster. Outside the city, there was a field. That's where you guys picked me up, right? Or, wait. No, that's my house. The house I've been living in for the past decade. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Stars writes on his clipboard.
Can I go back?
Go back where?
To the store. I want to go back.
Have you ever had any siblings, Lee?
No. I've never had any siblings.
Who is Jason Boletto?
My cousin? I don't know. I have a large extended family. Jason's probably my mom's side. I wouldn't know since we don't really talk. Aside from my Uncle Charlie.
Who?
My uncle. Mom's side. We've always been close, and he helped me through a lot of rough patches before. His memories are the only ones I bother to keep with me.
Can you detail some of those memories for me, Lee?
I can't remember.
D680 begins to show visible signs of distress and agitation. Subject tears up and eventually begins crying, placing her head in her hands. Subject slams her head into the table and loudly sobs. Seconds later, D680 has completely recollected herself and smiles. Researcher Stars makes a motion to the observing camera feed to end the interview. End log. With that finished, this concludes today's readings. We appreciate everybody joining in today. Have a good rest of your day, afternoon, evening, or night.